This is William from Silver Streak. Today is World Alzheimer's Day, and to shed some light on this very challenging condition, as well as to show support for all the caregivers out there, we speak with Mr. Anjang, who has early onset dementia. When did you start to notice that you may have some dementia or some problem? And and how did you feel when that happened?
Yeah, that was about 15 years ago, lah. About 15 years ago. So that time, when you was a superintendent in a chemical process company plant, my work was very stressful. To take care because you cannot shut down the plant. You cannot have any miss operation because it will cost millions the shareholders. So, I have to be very, very fit, mentally sharp. Yeah. My subordinates and my colleagues, the other superintendents, I think they realize it, but they doesn't want to really approach me, personally, because they can see the anxiety in myself getting higher and higher because it's a very big plan. So uh, I do have, my best friend who's my also my subordinate, they're asking me whether I'm okay, whether I'm all right, because I told my wife I don't want to send any dead bodies, to their families because it happens in Jurong Island, where explosion, where people get into accident. So I do not want to add the numbers of fatalities. So that is where I stopped. Then I decided to drive taxis, because I thought it was a very easy job, without any stress and whatever. But eventually, also, I drove for 5 years full time, but not every day because of the, all those. So I involved in so many accidents, I overrun the central divider. I hit the lamp post. I hit cars, Then lastly, I hit a postman that was at Orchard Road. And I was just started driving for about 2 hours. So that was my last straw.
So you mentioned your wife. What that made me think? What happened to your relationships with your family and your friends when they found out about this? Did they change, or how did they change?
I thought of not telling anyone at first. It was very traumatic for me for 1 month at least. I I was in a very deep stage of depression. I cried almost every day, Then one day, when I was praying, so I decided that I want, I wanted my family to know. My wife already knew it, so I wanted my children to know. So, you know, uh, for another 1 month, I do all the research about the dementia and everything. Then I told my children. They were very surprised. But I do have some friends, who run away from me and doesn't want to be associated with me. Even when I have some small fight with my own brothers, they call me as a mad person. So that's very disappointing. But to me, I have to take it. I have to take it. So definitely, there's a lot of reaction from people, and people who doesn't understand you, doesn't understand dementia. So that is what happened.
Then a related point is, how would you like for people to treat you, or how would you hope that people treat you now that in this situation?
Yeah, person with dementia, right? It's always dignity and respect. Dignity and respect. I have, organizing webinars. I had been organizing that webinars. I call up doctors, to speak in my webinars. When the doctors refer person with dementia as demented, and to me it is wrong because you don't call person with dementia as demented. Your choice of words are very important to person with dementia because of collectively, we might be losing a lot of things, but uh, in our emotion, emotionally, we are still the same person. Even with all the attacks and everything, we can get depressed, we can have delusion, we can have hallucination, we can have a lot of things. But we do want a very kind words. I always brought up very simple thing. You must respect personal dimension. Give them a bit of dignity for them, to empower themselves. So at least they can have some purpose in their life, goals in their life.
And you've talked a lot about things that have changed. We're also interested in what hasn't changed. What about your life continues as it was before, or if anything?
Okay, William, that's a good question. Uh, I love to serve people because that's coming from my parents' DNA. So uh, previously, when I was in my younger days, I was a drug counselor. I was a social activist. We gather people, children from single family, single parent families, to to uh, to be at CCs and everything. So when I got dementia, there's nothing changed. Uh, because I've been all the while, even when I was a superintendent, I still serve, my subordinate. Uh, as a leader, you will not become a leader, when you don't serve your team.
Are there any sort of final words of wisdom or words of advice just that you'd like to just leave us with, especially for those who have family members or friends who are living with dementia? Just some kind of word of wisdom or word of advice you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah. First of all, we are human being. We are also a person. A person. If you were to see our anatomy, we have our heart, our liver, we have our everything that whatever the other people have, the normal people who doesn't have dementia. So we would like to be treated with respect. People to understand our station. You see, like Robin Williams. Do you know Robin Williams, who passed away?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, who people was telling everybody that he took his own life. But what is his widow after the autopsy said that it's the dementia, the Lewy body dementia took his life. Because I can really cry, when talking about dementia. It's not easy. Every day you have to face these demons. My wife can find me, crying, at night, and I was very confused, running around the house, waking her up at night, telling her that there's somebody outside, and so many other things. So we we really don't enjoy, being in this situation. But what we want is that people, everyone, you know, uh, when you should add empathy inside your life, in yourself, as a person, as a human being, across the board.